Hi everyone, FinanceFeeds is here in sunny Limassol, Cyprus. We've been invited to the lovely offices of global brokerage Exness, where I'm joined now by Igor Desyatov, who is Deputy CEO and Chief Trading Officer at the brokerage. Igor, thanks for inviting us to speak today.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for your participation, and I hope that we will enjoy the discussions.
Likewise. So I wanted to start off and ask you, from a trader's perspective, what truly defines good execution when we talk about trading? Is speed enough, or should traders focus on other factors as well?
I think this is one of the most fundamental questions for trading industry. What does it mean, the quality of the execution and quality of the trading in general? And the fundamental stuff here is not the speed. The fundamental stuff is the trading and transaction cost. Because speed itself doesn't mean that you will suffer with the high transactional cost. For example, the market is not volatile. To be honest, there's no big difference between the execution fast or not fast, because the market doesn't move too much. At the same time, during the high volatility events, and especially during the news release, the market is so active, and any delay in execution could trigger the bigger transaction cost. That's why the speed is a part of the transactional cost, I can say. It's indirect because it's not the same as the spread, because spread is the direct transactional cost. Speed could affect on transaction costs a lot, and at the same time, speed, it's not the main factor, I can say. But as a broker, and in our industry, the speed is this is the things that we can manage. We can see the execution speed from the client's perspective, and also can manage the things that we can manage. For example, we can manage the servers, we can manage the infrastructure in order to provide the best execution ecosystem for our traders. At the same time, there are some factors for speed that we cannot manage. We name it last mile execution, because some clients can have very low level access to the internet, and the channel is quite tiny, and they suffer with the execution issues.
I think I want to focus a little bit more again on trade execution, because that's the most important part of trading, right? I think you brought up a very important point that traders are, a lot of the time, they are focused on, they press the button and they want it done instantaneously. But at the same time, they may look at or focus on spreads, or let's say variable or fixed spreads, whatever a broker may provide. And I think you agree with me that prices and spreads vary so much every millisecond, probably, that really getting in and out of the market will determine how much you are actually paying. And I guess I wanted to ask, what do you think is the real cost of trading for the retail traders today, given, let's say unpredictable execution or widening spreads, especially during events like non-farm payrolls in the US? Another situation that really comes to my mind recently is the Trump tariff announcement, which seems like it caught all the global markets off guard and moved a lot of markets in different directions, where I think both retail traders, liquidity providers, hedge fund managers, and a lot of people were caught off guard. I guess, what do you think about all of this?
Absolutely, you're absolutely right that transaction cost and the spread as the main factor of any broker. It's the price of the product that we have, and there are many facts that we can consider. For example, for the last 10 years, and we observe very straightforward trend that trading transactional costs was decreasing over the time significantly, almost for all the instruments, especially for the gold, crypto, and major instruments, especially for the retail side of the business. We cannot say the same for the futures market, for example, because the futures market quite stable in terms of transactional cost, and we track it as well, especially if the market is in such state of the world like now, because the uncertainty and the predictability is huge, and generally many funds and market makers, they avoid the uncertainty, and they they provide less liquidity. Especially now, last few months, the liquidity is quite low for majority of the markets. But the brokers, and as the fact, provide quite stable and quite good conditions. We cannot say that we are the only one that can provide that. We were the first that started to do that for some instruments. We started to see that it's possible. There's no big issues with that. Then we started to decrease the spreads, but the prices gold is moving up, and the actual spread relatively to the price is decreasing even more. And for the last year, for example, the spread we decreased again for gold 2 times, and the price of gold is going up again and again. And the situation is right now. The situation is this: the conditions that retail brokers provide, and we especially Exness, it's insane. It's like no one on the market can provide that for sure. And even if the liquidity is so weak, we still can provide that. You said related to the macroeconomic events. Yes, it's news release, different events related to the Trump tariffs especially, and there are lots of other things, conflicts over the world and so on. All of that push the market in the uncertain way. And we as a broker, for one side, for us is a big issue because we always on it. We always track the market, we observe and we monitor the situation 24/7, and we try to solve any issues that we see in infrastructure and so on, and on the market, manage it. At the same time, it's a huge opportunity because we just saw that clients appreciated the conditions, and they know that the stability for them is very important. And we try to keep it even now, and most probably in the future we will even improve the current conditions. We are going far from the market in terms of the conditions, in terms of the traders' conditions. If you ask me, the retail trader, what for the trader is important now, we can say that the things that we have on the retail side is unrepeatable. It's impossible to copy. It's impossible to just provide it because it's huge risk, to be honest. And to absorb this risk, you need to be very big. You need to have very sophisticated infrastructure, very sophisticated risk management, and quite big business because you need to absorb this amount of risk.
Yeah. And well, it seems like Exness has done a great job over the years of basically being very proactive, right? Like you just said, you know what, let's change the trading conditions for gold because we know that we can improve them. We can decrease the transaction costs for traders and do whatever else we can to basically, well, at the end of the day, entice them to trade more gold because listen, we have better conditions for trading gold than let's say our competitors do. So come to Exness and trade, which absolutely makes sense. And I think if you do that in a very complex way, trading infrastructure, pricing, connectivity, right, which is something, or trading infrastructure connectivity, which is something I want to also get into. Probably also human capital as well. I mean, you're very well known on this island for really taking care of your staff, of your employees from a quality of life perspective and things like that. So, I mean, you know, kudos to you guys. I wanted to ask a little bit more about gold and specifically with respect to probably the last 4 months where people are continuing to rush into gold being a safe haven asset. I'm wondering if there's any insights that you can share with respect to, without divulging into numbers or something like that, but I would venture to guess that you have seen your trading volumes on gold and oil significantly increase, probably also over the last several months. And I guess, how are you able to manage all of that order flow efficiently? And does that have, do you have a lot of flexibility because your company is at a stage now where essentially it's a market maker. It doesn't necessarily need to rely on external liquidity providers, I would think, today.
I will try to answer the first question regarding the gold. I cannot say that we observe some change in the trend of between the instruments, but gold is always one of the most liquid instruments for many years. It's not only for today, not only this year, previous year, and so on. And I know that it's overall for the industry. It's not only for our company. And the last few months, what happened? The gold went up significantly. The price went up. The conditions in our industry improved, not only in our company, but we drove it initially 1 year ago. We started to decrease the spread, and in the end, our improvements was quite significant, and other brokers also followed that, and price went up. And this is why it's happened, because clients trade, they trade where they have opportunity and where the conditions are good. At the same time, forex instruments as well started to become more interesting because of the such situation in macroeconomics. The US dollar depreciated, euro appreciated. For example, euro USD is also has a positive trend in terms of the volume, last weeks as minimum. And crypto in general, crypto over the world is. I cannot say that crypto is so significant in our industry. I think that's not, and I think forex and commodities more popular. But crypto is quite interesting opportunity for the clients. You also had a question regarding we as a leader, yes, and I mean, and the human things and so on. And
it's more of an acknowledgement than a question.
Yes,
Compliment.
I just wanted to say one thing, that when our company was founded by Peter Valov, yes, he set some principles that we try to follow up to now, and I hope that it will continue for many years. And these principles means that, for example, we always try to be very ethical with our traders. That's why, for example, we started to change the usual practice that it was at the time. We always commit for something, and we always executed the things that we said. It means that, for example, Peter created the instant withdrawals many years ago, and even now we have 98% of our payment transactions executed instantly, and it's incredible. And I think that other brokers don't have it. We track that, and we don't see that other big competitors did it. And but it's a very good example, because why we did it? Because we wanted to create the trust between us and clients, and not just set the principle, but also commit and show that it exactly, like each client can just easily check it, that okay, I want to withdraw the money, and the client will see that on his account in a few seconds. The only problem that can happen on the side of the payment providers that we cannot control, but what we can control, it's perfect. And this is what Peter said, created. Why I said that? Because by setting these principles, creates lots of issues inside, in challenges inside the company. I mean, you need to control that. You need to control anti-fraud. You need to control risk management. Your infrastructure should be super stable, because if something will be wrong, you will have the problem. And in general, by human perception, people try to avoid it. It's better to find a more simple way. That's why we're unique, because our way how we develop the product is quite specific in this case. And that's why we challenged ourselves, because 1 year ago, for example, there was no reason to decrease spreads. It's like all good, the business is growing, all good, but then we want to decrease spreads on gold. Like, why? Because the spread was already very tight. And because we can, first of all.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And because we know that it will create some additional issues, because the marginality will go down. but we want to have such challenges, and this is our like internal energy that pushed the product.
No, I think that's great. It's just another example of your brokerage being innovative, and basically pushing the boundaries, I would say, like you just said with respect to automatic withdrawals. I know of only one other company that does this, but they are not in the retail brokerage space.
Yeah.
So go figure, right?
I met as many partners, clients, and so on. They really appreciate this feature a lot because it creates the trust.
Yes, of course, absolutely.
That's why it's very important.
I would say it's the number one thing with respect to trust between a retail trader and their brokerage, because they're sending you their money, right? Yes. And if they're making profits, again, theoretically, that's their money, and at the end of the day, they're worried about it. They monitor, they make sure, like, how long does it take to withdraw? What are the policies, right? Are there commissions involved? Which sources can I withdraw the funds to, and all that? This is all very, very cool, but I wonder, how do you manage all this with your trading infrastructure? How do you make sure that it's all reliable and accurate? And like you said, that AML is there, and basically all of the processes that need to happen from a regulatory standpoint, both external regulators and then maybe internal policies that you have within the company. How does that work? How do you automate that?
Yes, this is fundamental, because if someone wants to create such conditions like instant withdrawal, tight spreads, and so on, yes, you need to manage everything. You need to manage anti-fraud, you need to manage the compliance, you need to manage the infrastructure, and so on. And that's what we are doing, actually. We have quite sophisticated operational stuff that manage the altered transactions, not manually, but we have the different models and logics, algorithms that manage that, analyze the transactions, and if we observe some suspicious transactions, we send them in pendings. But because of 98% of the transactions we did immediately, it means that majority of it's quite tiny number of the transactions. But behind that, there are many models, there are many people, there are many stages that we need to manage. And the compliance point we also mentioned, this is very important. And we now, for example, we invested a lot in this part. We created many different tools and instruments inside the company that we track the clients, track the transactions, and so on. In parallel with that, we have the different type of audits that we run from our end in order to be sure that everything is compliant, and so on. This is basically what we are doing. 99% of our work is about that. That, for example, I can say 99% of our work is about the managed infrastructure, risks, models, algorithms, and so on, etc. At the same time, for example, we less care about the market risk, because market risk we know how to control it, first of all, but at the same time we spend less efforts to control the clients from the risk appetite things. I mean, not from the risk anti-fraud. We focus on the real stuff, like how the algorithm works, how the operational models works, how much we can improve, and this is very ongoing. This is another important thing that we also manage. It's efficiency, internal efficiency, and we, for example, in terms of the headcount stuff and so on, we are becoming more and more efficient each year. For the last few years, we didn't grow in terms of the headcount. At the same time, the business is growing, and at the same time, it means that we more efficient internally. It's just the fact. And how to achieve it? It's not just to create everything that I said, but also to create it in the more optimal way. For sure, we are happy to have great results. And me personally, not only me, but I'm happy to see efficiency. I'm happy to see that it works how it should work. Not only for the financial result, etc. It's for me, I like the beautiful things of that.
I understand. It's kind of like if you build it right, they will come. So you guys build it right, they come, they trade, and then the revenues and the performance, company performance, it's all there. You don't even need to worry about it. You know you're doing the right thing, and by doing the right thing, you know that you're always going to have demand for trading at Exness rather than somewhere else. So, Igor, we've touched on sort of the front end stuff, which is the pricing, right, and the spreads and the execution. We talked about trust and withdrawals, right, and kind of the back end of things, right, in terms of being able to withdraw your funds. I wanted to talk about what I think is also another important factor for traders. Maybe they don't necessarily realize it or they don't think about it too much, but specifically platform performance, the performance of your desktop, web, and specifically mobile apps, right? Because most of the world today trades on phones, trades on tablets, some sort of devices that are not your standard laptop, desktop, and things like that. And obviously, we spoke about the fact that Exness has clients in many different regions of the world. Some of them are so far-flung, I would say, and so far away that, you mentioned issues like the last mile and other things. I think that's more maybe a little bit of connectivity. I'm not sure if you could put it in the same box as platform performance, but the question really is, how does Exness manage platform performance, both with respect to increased volatility and just increased demand on your platform, on your systems? I'm not saying people executing specifically trades, but people that are logged in, that are looking at the markets, that are perhaps doing some sort of analysis within the Exness platforms themselves. How do you manage all of that, both globally, because you have so many clients around the world, and also during times of what we would say, let's say, high volatility or high impact? How do you guys specifically manage platform performance?
Yes, a very good question, because a few years ago, we had some problems with the servers, with this platform performance, because the same factors. And we started to manage it. We cannot control the last mile, as I said, the internet of the client, but we can control the product. For example, if your product will be super complicated and the client doesn't have enough capacity from the internet, the client will have the problems. And we manage the product side. And even now we discuss, for example, do we need to improve the terminals by adding more and more features? By doing that, we also think, okay, from the client side, what the requirements of the client side, and we need to provide some flexible model how different clients with different internet access can have different product offerings in terms of the platform. I mean, for example, you can open just one chart with 1 minute candles, yes, or you can open many charts, many with the 15 seconds candles, for example. And we have, from one side, we have the request from clients, could you add as much as possible different features? At the same time, we know that many clients suffer, and we try to manage it more flexible. It's like personalized product offerings for that as well, and we're working on it. At the same time, there are news release. It's a big topic, and for the last year, we improved it a lot. It's one of the big achievements, I can say, in our company, that we didn't have too much complaints on it, and it's almost calm. We don't have any clients' complaints related to the news events and so on. How we achieve it? The same. We created quite sophisticated model how to manage the servers. We started to see how we can manage from the server side. We created quite interesting model how we manage the execution around the news, do not affected by the clients. For example, we have the team that manage all the metrics, and if something is happening, we started to manage it proactively. And as a result, as I said, we don't have the problems on the use. A few years ago, we had this problem, and the use conditions were worse than now. And at the time, we knew that if we want to improve the conditions on use, we need to solve this first problem.
Of course.
Because if you improve the condition on use, more clients will come to you, and the more problems you will suffer with. And after we improved that, we started to improve the conditions on use. And 1 year ago, we started to for example, stabilize the spreads for gold for some big instruments, the most important instruments on use. It means that our spreads and conditions during the news almost the same as for regular markets. And more clients were coming, but because we solved the first problem, technical problem, we can manage it. And another important thing is panic orders, because we have some special condition for panic orders. We manage the slippages, and now slippage rate is quite low. The majority of our trades executed by the requested price, and again it triggered the clients that trade on use, because if your stop orders could be executed quite efficiently, you want to trade on use. And now we managed the technology quite well, I can say. And but still it's always ongoing, because the industry is growing, and I hope that we will be more proactive.
A quick follow-up question with respect to slippage and pending orders and around news and all of these things. How do you do that? Is that really a byproduct of the fact that you are a market maker and you could essentially make the market and you decide what to do? And you're like, well, I understand that in the situation, maybe I could have made a few more bucks, but I decided not to, because why? Let the client's pending order be executed as close as possible to the rate that they wanted, given the market conditions, for example.
Yes, the simple answer, because we, as a market maker, we can manage it. And if two scenarios, either you just can execute pending orders by market, you see the market and the market going up, and by stop order should be executed by the market price. But we just realize that if we will execute our clients by the requested price, it will cost us, because there is a difference between the market price, but we estimated that the cost is not so significant. And if we'll do that, we will create more positive things for clients rather than the negative side for us. That's very logical, it's very rational. We can calculate the cost of it, and we know that for the clients it's quite important. That's why we did it. It's quite simple.
If you solve all the technical issues and you make it run smoothly, of course, yeah. If you make it efficient, yeah.
Yes. The question is why other brokers and other competitors cannot do that. I think because, as I said, that's why I started to discuss principles. Yes.
Yes, of course.
Like it's quite complicated because you need many teams, many people should work on it. They need to maintain it, they need to track, they need to monitor the risk, anti-fraud we need to be sure that everything under control. But that's the way that we decided to go through.
I mean, Igor, I think, well, I hope you agree with me. In our industry, I mean, there's many different players out there. There's huge brokers that have been around for 15, 20 years, big brands that we all know. But then there's medium-sized brokers, there's smaller-sized brokers, right, out there. There's companies that come and go all the time, right, in our industry. I think you just answered the question with respect to pricing slippage and all of this stuff. I think you're in a position where you're so successful as a company that you're like, well, okay, here I can let a few bucks go, because here I know that everything is running smoothly, I'm expanding, and in the grand scheme of things, we're happy. So I will let some of these customers make a little bit more money. I could have executed them at a different rate, but I chose not to. And when you compare that type of behavior or position to other brokerages, at the end of the day, unfortunately, some companies, they have very stringent principles. You have principles, they have principles as well. They have more stringent principles, or it's a matter of revenue. You're a company, you need to generate revenue. You have shareholders that you're beholden to, and at the end of the day, if times are tough, times are tough. And so you can't necessarily give your clients some of that leeway that perhaps your brokerage can. Again, that's just my layperson's maybe opinion on this.
Yeah, we're much more focused on the retention of the clients, even not on the lifetime value, more on the retention, because retention actually creates the benefits. Because if the client and especially partners, they are longer with us, the business is growing much faster, and that's why we are focused on retention, especially now. We try to be even more efficient in everything that we said today. We know that it's not it's still not the best. We know that it still should be improved. But the most important is the principles, because when I joined the company many years ago, and I was working before in another broker as well, and there's a big difference for sure. And the difference coming from the Peter Valov, how he created the company, how he managed the business, how he control the principles that he created. And I think this is the success story, because not exactly what we did, but how we did it and how the principles cultivated in the company. This is the most appreciated from my side as well.
Great. Awesome. I guess my last question to wrap things up is a little bit of a hyped up topic these days: artificial intelligence, machine learning. It's obviously becoming a facet of everyone's life, both personally and professionally for companies and things like that. I'm sure that today Exness uses machine learning and or artificial intelligence in making processes within the company run more efficiently. But what's your sort of perception of artificial intelligence, machine learning for the future? Is it going to be something where you as a company, and you think perhaps other companies in your space, will rely more and more and more on this kind of technology to basically streamline more processes, make things more lean within the organization, and really use perhaps AI to actually generate data and insights for us as humans to actually review and then make an informed decision on, hey, we should change this, or we should do this or that? Kind of, what's your opinion on, I guess, AI in general and its application to Exness and to, Forex brokers around the world?
Yes, this area is very interesting, first of all, and there's a consensus that this AI technology now with the LLM models and all the extension of it will push the business over the world in all dimensions and all industries. I also believe in it. First of all, I believe that AI technology will provide lots of benefits for the world, maybe even more than the internet, because internet was another milestone before that pushed the world in the positive way. AI as well. But I have my opinion how it will be applicable for our industry, and I also have the opinion how it could be applicable over the world. In our industry, we can split in few directions. First direction is from the trader side. From the trader side, the AI will just provide more opportunity. For example, you don't need to have the code experience if you want to run the model. You just need to have the trading API, and you can ask ChatGPT, could you provide me the Python code to run the strategy? I want to trade like this, like this, like this. And you don't need to have the experience in coding.
Sure.
This is significant because and that's why we're also working on it. We have the trading API, but it's not common and so on, and we want to provide it for many clients, almost for all the clients, because we want that. This is one of the reasons, because together with ChatGPT and this AI, we know that all the clients can use it. You just need to have the documentation and ask ChatGPT what you want, and the ChatGPT will give you. This is one big change that I expect, and I think it will happen. The another change is internally, because AI is just the more efficient way to do to create something. For example, if you want to analyze the data, AI improve your ability significantly. And I expect it, and I know that the same people, the same professionals, they will become more efficient with the AI technology. It's internal efficiency. Productivity will grow, and it's good for people, to be honest, because productivity, as a result, it means that the benefits and will grow up as well, the salaries and so on, because it's better to pay twice more for someone that used the AI intensively in his work, rather than someone that did not. And it's better to pay twice, 3 times. That's why I expect the professionals that will adjust. They will be more, for them it will be more beneficial for sure. We also have chatbot internally in the company. We also have different ideas how we can use AI technology for our operational stuff, for the client-facing teams, and not only. We also have many ideas, and I met as many people, professionals in AI, that find some collaboration as well. But mostly it's around how to improve already existing things. For example, if you want to improve your reports, you can use AI that can help you. And even there are some products that already exist that we can use. But it's still on the very initial stages, because I think in 5 years we don't know. It's difficult to say what will survive and which actual products, AI products, will be the biggest, and that's quite uncertain for us as well. That's why we are trying to use AI in our company, especially for people that provide this opportunity. But at the same time, I don't see significant change in the industry right now just because of the AI. I'm in trading almost 17 years, yes. And I remember that 15 years ago, there was the hype as well in trading. Genetic algorithms, lots of machine learning stuff and so on. And it was like, because you have lots of data, you want to predict and so on. And it's always was the hype, and it's nothing new for that from their side. And the products as well, the recognition models and so on, they were quite popular in 19th as well. I think it's a hype, but definitely because of the technology, because of it's hundreds and millions times more efficient way how to use it, it will become the new world that we will see in 5-10 years. But what I really know that nothing significant will happen in our industry, because traders, people, they will still trade because this is fundamental.
Yes.
And traders can delegate something to the AI and so on, but they trade because they want. They want to see, they want to open the position, they want to see how the price is going up, and they want to associate this with them, not with the AI.
Sure.
They
that
trade
makes sense.
because
That makes sense.
That's my opinion, and based on psychological things, that people trade and because they're making decisions, and they want to make the decisions based on their knowledge. If just delegate, it will look like less human, I can say. But as I believe that our industry will go up in any scenario, AI will just help to improve the industry a bit.
I guess a last question about AI, and this is sort of going back a little bit to some of the comments you just made about traders and also the past. I think you may have been speaking about a time that I remember MetaTrader was the king of all platforms a long time ago, and so many people were in a community, I think it was an MQL community, where people were writing their own code within MetaTrader to basically program what they call expert advisors, robots, whatever, automated basically trading scripts, right? That would do something within the platform based on the criteria that you gave them. I wonder, given everything that you've just said, do you think that AI can actually help traders in the future, maybe like you said in 5-10 years, to be able to automate these kind of things? So in other words, they won't have to learn a specific programming language. They will just be able to go into an interface or a bot, say that I would like you to basically build me a trading script or a trading robot that's going to focus on these specific parameters, and then have that built and then test that out in, let's say, a demo or a live environment, and then use that to try and earn profits at a forex broker.
Yeah, sure. That's what I believe 100%. That this cycle, trader cycle, like trader started to trade, and then the trader started to formalize his strategy somehow. Yes, the trader started to find a way how to create some algorithm that based on his trading, and then this cycle is much faster now, because you just need to provide all your trading experience to the AI, yes, and you can ask, can you formalize my strategy somehow, and the AI will give you some tool for that. You don't need to spend too much time now for that. And I'm sure that AI will push traders to use it because it's obviously opportunity. And yes, from this side, I'm absolutely sure that and it's already what's happening. The traders are using that for the opportunity. And I cannot say that we will provide something for the traders because, for example, I mean, someone can say, okay, you can just create some trading chatbot for the clients, like, and for example, chatbot can track the clients' trading behavior and can advise that.
Okay.
We try to avoid such things because we don't want to push clients to trade. They can create it themselves. I believe they will, but from our end, we don't believe that it's ethical correct because it's the same like despite still we don't have the Tesla everywhere without the driver because it's ethical part. If and in our case as well, we try to avoid these ethical things. We don't push the clients.
Yeah, I mean, because who's to say that whatever the AI is doing or suggesting is actually correct, right?
We try to avoid
you don't know
many things like that because try to avoid such pushing clients. What we believe just provide, for example, improve the conditions. It's not pushing.
No,
it's you can trade with better spreads. You can choose it. Yeah.
Give them great pricing. Give them a stable platform. Let them withdraw money very quickly, and that's it. That's the formula. And I think that's the formula, right?
Opportunity, yes. And we are thinking now that for the next year, we want to significantly improve our offerings in terms of trading instruments. We want to work on it more, like because before we focused more on the conditions on the good existing instruments like what we have, and but for the next year, especially, we want to focus on the offerings to provide more opportunities.
That makes sense. Everybody is going. It used to be called all multi-asset, and now I call it all asset, where it's FX, CFDs, commodities, indices, futures, options. There are companies that are trying to put it all on one platform.
Yes, I think this is the future for our industry as well, is to really provide everything you in the world that we can. I think this is the future.
Yeah, me too. Well, Igor, thanks for letting us come to your office today and pick your brain and getting all of these very, very interesting insights about how Exness works, some of the internals, how you guys are basically making trading a success for traders around the world. And kudos to you for kind of pushing the boundaries within the industry and kind of having a leading role and showing other companies how this can be all done successfully, and obviously helping traders and helping the industry overall. Kudos to you guys.
Thank you for these greatest questions. I think we discussed a lot, and I hope that it will be useful.
We hope so too. Thanks so much, Igor. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.